Hi there, this is Tata, and welcome to Wrestling Time Post Show. It is Friday, May 17, 2024, and tonight I'll be talking about Friday Night SmackDown. Alright, let's kick things off talking about this Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul contract signing. Because, there was a little bit of a confusion as to whether this was going to be a title for title or champion versus champion match. I thought, and I was under the impression that both titles were going to be on the line, because Cody Rhodes kept talking about, how he was going to be a Grand Slam champion. But this segment cleared things up. And speaking of Cody Rhodes, they were in Jacksonville tonight, of all places, which is the home of AEW. So, basically, Cody Rhodes is talking about how he's a fan of professional wrestling, and says that Logan Paul isn't. The whole point of this is they're signing for their match at King Queen of the Ring, and Logan Paul actually rips up the contract, and the reason why he rips it up is because that contract wasn't what he agreed to. Which is what he was challenging for the WWE title, and his lawyer, who was right next to him, pulled out a new contract. Now, during all of this, crowd was chanting, "You can't read," and "You suck" chants. And so basically the contract that they signed was just for the WWE title. There is not both titles are not on the line here. And Logan Paul basically says that Cody hasn't done anything to deserve a shot at the US title, while he's proven that he's worthy of every title in the industry. And Cody Rhodes makes reference to the fact that Mike Tyson's going to knock out Jake Paul, Logan Paul's brother. And you know how contract signings end. They end in complete disaster. Cody Rhodes sends Logan Paul to the outside and destroys his entourage. Not surprised this ended it that way. Weddings, contract signings, and celebrations always end in other disaster. This was an okay segment. I just feel like Cody Rhodes pretty much says the same thing that he says every week. And Logan Paul was right. He brings up a point that Cody's saying the same thing everyone has said about him. But the one thing I did like is that this cleared up confusion. So I feel like that makes it a given that Cody's going to win. Or I don't think he'll drop to Logan Paul. But if Logan Paul does win, it'll probably be by disqualification or something. I don't think he'll take the title off of Cody Rhodes. But nevertheless, this contract signing happened tonight. So if this happened tonight, I wonder what's going to happen next week, which is a go-home show to King and Queen of the Ring. We also had the quarterfinal matches of King and Queen tournament. The first one was Bianca Belair versus Tiffany Stratton. Now, I know Tiffany Stratton got herself in some hot water this weekend for a video she posted on Jade Cargill. But rumors are to be believed, she didn't get any heat over it. So I thought this was a good match. People were chanting, "This is awesome." I honestly wouldn't mind seeing a part 2 down the road. But Bianca Belair wins with the KOD to Tiffany Stratton. And at the end, Kathy Kelly, interviews her in the ring. And one of the things that they bring up is her knee, the knee that she messed up when she fought Candice LeRae last week. Bring it up during commentary and then bring it up during this. She says that her knee is not 100%, but she didn't become the EST by making excuses. So she says she's the strongest, the toughest, the roughest, the quickest, the fastest, the best. This was a pay-per-view caliber. Yeah, this match, I agree. So she's basically saying that nothing's going to stop her from becoming Queen of the Ring. So really great match. Great showing by Tiffany Stratton. And I would hope that somewhere down the road we'd get this match again. We get a quick Logan Paul segment, and he's just walking to Nick Aldis' office, but out comes LA Knight. Yeah, And they kind of have like this stare down, and look, Nick Aldis tells Logan Paul that he can enter the office now. And he tells LA Knight, yeah, see ya, chump. So it's interesting because it's long been rumored that LA Knight, yeah, will be the one to eventually face Logan Paul for that US title. And so I feel like it can't happen at SummerSlam because they're going to be in Cleveland. Logan Paul's originally from Ohio, so I don't think it'll work out too well there. But it would be interesting to see when Logan Paul and LA Knight face off with each other. We also get a Jade Cargill interview. And she's basically talking about how she's heard all about Nia, how she's a beast and irresistible force. But to her, she's just in the way. Now, interesting thing here is Bianca Belair approaches her and Jade congratulates her. And of course, she asks about that knee. Now, Bianca says not to worry, but maybe next week she'll be standing in the ring across from Jade. They'll boo him in Cleveland, I bet. Hello. Hey, maybe. Not all hometown heroes get cheered. So I feel like they're really starting to tease the eventual match between Jade and Bianca, which will probably happen after they drop those tag titles. The question is to who and when. Honestly, I feel like Jade and Bianca is a WrestleMania match. You built to it next year. But I wouldn't mind seeing that match. So we get a quick Bloodline segment, and like Tonga is just like making animal noises because he's trying to like prepare for his match against LA Knight, yeah. And the whole point of this is like Paul Heyman asks if Solo Sikoa has spoken to Roman, and he tells Paul Heyman all the time, which we don't know if he's telling the truth or if he's lying. Personally, I think Solo Sikoa is lying here. Next, we get the LA Knight interview, and he's talking about like the bloodline, about how he doesn't know half of those guys, and the person who interrupts him is Carmelo Hayes because he wants to give LA Knight, yeah, the opportunity to welcome him to SmackDown. Now, Carmelo brings up the fact that he was a first round draft pick, so that it's no big deal. And then he says, yeah, it is. And LA Knight, yeah, compares him to being the guy who got drafted in the first round the same year that Tom Brady got drafted. And he makes it a point to say that nobody knows that guy's name. Chit chat. Stopping in to say hello. Hope you're well, and it was a good episode tonight. LA Knight continues to be one of the biggest faces and still can't catch a break. That is so true. That is so true. I feel bad for LA Knight. LA Knight. So I really like this interaction between Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight. I think that a feud between them would be incredible, and I feel like maybe a feud will happen once LA Knight takes the US title off of Logan Paul here. But the thing that I like that Carmelo Hayes says is that he says after tonight, the most important letters in WWE won't be RKO, they'll be HIM. And it's so funny because like LA Knight, mocks him for this. And then he tells him, do you want to hear something? And he goes, with everybody saying LA Knight, just goes to show how over he is. And yet he still hasn't won gold. So this leads into the King of the Ring quarterfinals match, LA Knight, versus Tonga. I was not a huge fan of this match. I felt like this match was, how can I say this? A little lackluster. And it's not LA Knight's fault. I just feel like this match was missing something. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it was definitely missing something. And with the Bloodline all on ringside, Tonga Loa and Solo Sikoa, I don't think LA Knight, even had a chance in this tournament because of that. So it's no surprise when Tonga eventually wins. And then like at the end, like LA Knight is walking with Charles Robinson and Carmelo Hayes passing by and like lacking built. Yeah, exactly. It's lacking built. And like Carmelo Hayes passes by and he basically tells LA Knight whose game is it now. And he alludes to the fact that LA Knight couldn't get the job done. And Charles Robinson has to like break it up because it looks like they're about to brawl. And like I said, I feel like this is gonna lead to a feud, a rivalry between them eventually. We also get a Nia Jax interview, which is basically all about Jade Cargill here. And basically, she says that she's going to be Queen of the Ring, not Jade, which leads into the Queen of the Ring quarterfinals match, Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax. So Nia Jax wins this by DQ after she basically yells at Jade's daughter that her mom sucks. And Jade hits her with the steel chair, causing the DQ. And then at the end, both women continue to brawl. Jade hits Nia with the spear. And, the crowd's chanting bullshit. And the ref and officials try to break up the fight, but Jade continues to go after Nia Jax. So I have to say, I was not a fan of this at all. Not a fan. Would I have mind seeing Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax one-on-one? Yeah, definitely wouldn't have mind seeing that. But the reason why I wasn't a fan of this is the whole reason Nia Jax won by DQ is because they didn't want to have Jade and Bianca face off in the semifinals. And why put both Jade and Bianca in this tournament if you didn't want that? You know who you could have put? You could have put Chelsea Green. You could have possibly put Piper Nivens. You could have put anybody else in this tournament. Why put both women's tag team champions? And why cause a DQ? You should have just thrown somebody else in there. Seriously. How hard was that? You had Tiffany Stratton in this tournament. Why not have Blair Davenport? Maybe Katana Chance or Kaden Carter. Just somebody else. You didn't have to put Jade in this tournament. Agreed, wasted spots taken. Yeah, exactly. Like, I get they wanted to do Jade versus Nia Jax, but you could have done Jade versus Nia Jax without any implication of the Queen of the Ring tournament. You wasted a spot in here. You could have thrown someone else in there. But that's the whole reason why Nia Jax won this and why she won by DQ, because they didn't want her pinning Jade. And they probably didn't want to do Jade versus Bianca yet. So, throwing someone else in there. See, next we get DIY versus Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo with A-Town Down Under on commentary. Now, this match, when you look at both teams, if they would have let both teams go, I feel like this match could have been a lot more than what it was. DIY is an incredible tag team, and Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo haven't been given really an opportunity to shine as much. Granted, I know they were in NXT, but I didn't see their run in NXT, so I don't know if they were given a lot of time to shine. But I just feel like with the good showing, this match could have been a lot better than it was. It was an okay match. And the fact that you had Santos Escobar and Electra Lopez at ringside, and they caused a distraction, and that still wasn't enough for Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza to win. Like, DIY still won this. So I just feel bad for Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. I'm really surprised they haven't gotten a release, and they haven't even asked for their releases. But at the end of this, DIY had a little face-off with A-Town Down Under. So I feel like DIY will probably more than likely take those tag belts off A-Town Down Under. So we get AJ Styles interview, and he's basically talking about where does he go from here. He lost to Cody Rhodes at Backlash. He lost in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament to Randy Orton. So where is he going to go? He says he's going to go into Nick Aldis' office and find out from there. So where do you guys think AJ Styles goes from here? Maybe he reunites with the OC. I mean, he pretty much ditched them. I can't blame him, though. He was mad at them because they didn't really do anything to take out the bloodline. So, yeah, that's the big question. Where does AJ Styles go from here? Where do you guys think AJ Styles goes from here? Does he reunite with the OC? Does he move on to a new feud? Let me know in the live chat in the comment section down below. We get a quick Bayley interview, and she's interrupted by Chelsea Green and Piper Nivens, and basically She says she'll see them next week in the ring because they mock her. Like, Piper Nimitz is like kind of like asleep, and it's basically saying Bayley was boring. The main event ends up being the King of the Ring quarterfinals match, Carmelo Hayes versus Randy Orton. I have to say, this was a great showing by Carmelo Hayes. I mean, he really took it to Randy Orton at the beginning. He was targeting that knee of Randy Orton here. But at the end of the day, like, Randy Orton ended up winning after he hit the RKO to Carmelo Hayes. And then the Bloodline came out. And Randy basically reintroduced himself to the Bloodline. And he says Tonga is going to get introduced to the 3 most dangerous letters, RKO. So this was a great match. Great showing by Carmelo Hayes. And that's pretty much it for SmackDown. Overall, I feel like this was a pretty decent episode. There were a couple things I liked. There were a couple things I disliked. So with that being said, on a scale from a 1 to a Sean Spears perfect 10, I'd say this is a 7.5. Wasn't too bad of a SmackDown, but it wasn't great either. All right. And with that being said, you guys, thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you can notify whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys Monday after Raw. Bye.